Muse Music Store and Mahaska County Conservation Board presents Eveland Access Summerfest Music by the River 2024. June 1st from noon to 10 p.m. featuring 8 musical artists with live music, activities like bingo, sand volleyball, and cornhole, food, and much, much more. It's a free event at the Eveland Access Campgrounds at 2890 Galveston Avenue, Oskaloosa. Bring a friend and have a lot of fun at the Eveland Access Summerfest 2024 Music by the River, June 1st from noon to 10 at the Eveland Access Campgrounds.
Hi everyone, Coach Iva here with the Brain Rewired. I am a life coach, a business coach, and I have a neurocoaching certification, which simply means that I get to help my clients rewire their neural pathways for success. On these segments, I love to talk about the brain, and tonight I'm going to talk about stress. Now, when you hear me say the word stress, you're probably like, oh yeah, I can relate to that one. If you are alive on the earth today, I can guarantee you have navigated some kind of stressor in your life at some point. And maybe you are dealing with a whole host of stressors in your life right now. Maybe you're navigating a relationship that's causing you stress, or maybe it's financial stress or a stress at your job. We have all sorts of opportunities in our world today for stress to show up. And we get to decide how we navigate stress. Now, we know from research that long-term high levels of stress will cause negative effects in our physical body. We will see things like heart disease, high blood pressure, maybe even back pain, or not being able to sleep well at night. That's just a small list out of so many things that are caused by stress. And so we know that living in stress long-term is not healthy for us. And so I want to talk to you tonight about just a simple little way that you can help yourself go into that place of parasympathetic kicking in, the parasympathetic nervous system. When it kicks in, allowing yourself to go into that deeper place of rest and digest, which really allows your body to heal. And yet so often, because we don't have the skills or the training or the understanding of how to deal with stress in a healthy way, we oftentimes live from these high levels of stress, which really causes a dysregulated nervous system. And again, long term, that's not good for our bodies. And so what I want to talk to you about is the power of the pause. So first of all, just recognizing what are your common stress responses when you face stress in your life. What is your typical response? And we know that the most common ones are like fight, flight, or freeze. And we show up, we have different stress responses for different situations in our life. But having that awareness of what your common stress response is so helpful. And so knowing how you respond to stress, and then paying attention to the emotion that shows up for you. Now, I believe as humans, we are created to feel our emotions, but we love the good emotions, right? Like love, joy, peace, happiness. Those are those good emotions that we love to feel. But those uncomfortable emotions like anger, anxiety, fear, overwhelm, those are those kinds of emotions that we don't like to feel. And so it's really common for us just to want to hop out of those and keep going and ignore what's going on, because that feels safer for us, because that's what we're used to. And so once we recognize what's our typical stress response, fight, flight, or freeze, and then asking ourselves, what's that emotion that I'm feeling? Okay. Now I know that this is going to take some training. This doesn't happen overnight. We're not accustomed to doing these kinds of things. But over time, as we repeat this type of awareness as stress comes up for us, it will become easier. You will be able to recognize when stress is showing up for you much quicker over time as you begin to practice this. But then, when that emotion shows up, maybe you're feeling some anger show up when you face a stressor, and then asking yourself, okay, why am I feeling this? And where is this showing up in my body? So there's also a physical, when we feel these emotions, it typically shows up for us somewhere in our body physically as well. And I know sometimes people are like, well, I don't know where I feel this. So maybe you feel it in your stomach. Maybe you feel that anger in your stomach or in your chest, or maybe you feel like pressure in your head. There's a whole host of different ways that our emotion can show up for us physically in our body. But as we have this greater level of awareness of, okay, this is how I typically respond to stress, and that fight, flight, or freeze, and this is the emotion I'm feeling, and I'm feeling it in my chest. Just having that awareness is so important to begin to train ourselves to learn how to regulate our nervous system, and that we don't have to stay in that place of dysregulation. And so, again, I know that this takes a lot to train ourselves differently, but this is a lot of the work that I do with my clients, is helping them to have these skills, have these tools to learn how to live from a place of regulation in their nervous system. And it's really powerful, and the results that, I see from this kind of work and the shifts that happens for people in their lives. And so if this is something that you want support in, you're like, yeah, man, I'm dealing with a whole bunch of stress in my life and it's frustrating and I don't know how to pull myself out of that, then I would love to support you in this. I would encourage you to click on the link in the comment section below. It's my calendar link, and you can go in there and set up a time that works for you for a free 30-minute call with me. And we'll talk about the stressors that you're facing and how I can support you to live from a healthier place and not live from those high levels of stress in your life. All right, that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you for joining me. Bye for now.